first time in quite a while with a book review. This one is the first of a trilogy by, oddly enough, Hilary Duff. This one is called Elixir. I forget what the other two are offhand. I did a library day video a while back. These are ridiculously overdue at this point, but hopefully I'll blow through the other two quickly and get them back and not have a second library find from hell, which I still need to tell you guys that story. But anyway, so today we are here to talk about this one, and I just realized, oh hey, there's a picture of her on the back cover, and I didn't even notice that until I just held this up like that. Anywho, so not gonna lie, I honestly didn't know that Hilary Duff wrote books until, like, literally the day I picked these up. That was why I went out of my way to have a library trip, was because I found out these existed, and I was intrigued. I will be the first to admit that I like Hilary Duff. I always did, so whatever. Don't care if you judge me for it. So I want to know if maybe she writes books well or not. I mean, I went into this knowing there is a ghostwriter involved with this, but I'm not judging. I figured, if nothing else, it'll probably be that much better for it. Well, how about I read you the little inside the cover thing first, and then I'll try to explain further on what exactly this book is. A soulmate for life, or death. Yeah, it went there. 17-year-old Clea Raymond has felt the glare of the spotlight her entire life. The daughter of a renowned surgeon and a prominent politician, she has become a talented photojournalist who takes refuge in a world that allows her to travel to many exotic places. But after Clea's father disappears while on a humanitarian mission, Clea begins to notice eerie, shadowy images in her photos of a strange and beautiful young man, a man she has never seen before. When fate brings Clea and this man together, she is stunned by the immediate and powerful connection she feels with him. As they grow closer, they are drawn deep into the mystery behind her father's disappearance, and they discover the centuries-old truth behind their intense bond. Torn by a dangerous love triangle and haunted by a powerful secret that holds their fates, together they race against time to unravel their pasts in order to save their lives and their futures. Now, that in and of itself surprisingly doesn't tell that much of what this book is about. And it's odd, the pacing on this one, because like the first, third, maybe even half of the book, it was just ridiculously slow in my opinion. Like, given that it literally started out in a party where they're obsessing over boys, I was like, oh god, it's one of these books. Fuck this. I almost bailed right there. I was intrigued by the fact that, like, within the first couple pages, the main character is having a legit anxiety attack, which is not usually something I see written about in YA fiction, so I was like, okay, you have my attention at least a little bit just for including that. As somebody who has panic attacks, not that it was a very well written one, but whatever. The fact that they even included it intrigued me. But yeah, just the fact that it seemed like just about every other teen book on the market, for the first, I don't know how many pages of it, it took me forever to get past that part of it. Once it actually started getting into the paranormal shit, and then I was roped in and started taking it more seriously and actually reading the thing instead of getting through a couple pages, putting it down, getting through a couple pages, putting it down, and not really getting anywhere with it. So, once I got to that point, then I couldn't put the damn thing down. So basically, this shadowy figure, this person she keeps finding in her photographs, it's like not even an apparition, it's like an actual person, and she encounters the person in real life. And he is an actual person. So that was cool too. I thought like it was gonna be some weird haunting thing, I don't know. But no, it wasn't like that. But it's hard to explain without giving a million spoilers. but she ends up seeing, like, past lives of hers. I'm sorry, my dog just freaked me out for how intently she was staring at nothing, and I'm talking about paranormal shit. Sorry. But yeah, so she sees her own past lives and past deaths and things, and just, it's intriguing. And they're trying to unravel her father's disappearance, which never does get solved, by the way, and I'm assuming that's part of the trilogy. Maybe that comes later, but I don't know. The pacing of it was just kind of weird, since it seemed to drag for the first however long in it, and then all sped up, and towards the very end of it, like a zillion things happened really, really fast, and there was no closure on anything. It didn't even really properly conclude, and I'm assuming that is, again, because it's part of a trilogy, and it probably picks up exactly where it left off. What are you doing, Tolly? What are you doing? Sorry, again with the dog. But, yeah, I'm assuming it must pick up where this left off, because otherwise that doesn't even make sense for it to leave off the way that it did. And I don't know how far apart the release of each of these books was spaced out when they came out, or if they all came out at the same time. If they all came out at the same time, that seems fair enough. Maybe the intention was for people to buy all three. But if they came out spaced out a ways, that seems really jacked up that they'd leave it like that, because it wasn't even so much a cliffhanger as it just kind of left off mid-thought, basically. So, I don't know. But for a first novel that she ever has written, I feel like this isn't terrible. It's not the best I've ever read by any means, but it's not the worst either. So in terms of what I would rate it, I would say maybe a 3 out of 5 is fair. I'm hoping that the rest of the trilogy proves to be a bit more engaging from the get-go than this one does. I mean, at least since this one has my attention now, I feel like that's a fair assumption to make. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not terrible. I would still recommend it. It's interesting, especially the fact that it's written by Hilary Duff of all people. She actually goes dark, surprisingly. I was expecting fluff. I honestly thought it was going to be pure fluff and probably kind of stupid, but was gonna read it anyway. And yeah, that intrigued me that she actually had the propensity to go dark. So that was kind of interesting. Even if I couldn't get past imagining the main character as being Hilary Duff, or more specifically, Lizzie McGuire. So, it doesn't help that the main character is described as looking suspiciously like her, and, you know, her picture is on the back of the book, and in other editions of this book is on the cover. So, I think it was intentional that the main character is supposed to look like her. Little narcissistic, maybe, but when you look like that, may as well. But yeah, so anyway, that's my review on this one. I will review the other two as I finish them. Hopefully it will be a lot sooner than this one was from Library Day. But yeah, anyway, hopefully we'll be back with more of these soon. We shall see.